Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Don Toole, and today we have an action-packed show for you on this week of February, and we're going to get right to it. This past Sunday, the Phillies and all major league teams reported to spring training and held their first workout today, as pitchers and catchers were on hand to begin another great season. The Phillies, however, announced their starting rotation today, and it is not a surprise to most people. Roy Halladay is the number one starter, along with Cliff Lee is number two, Roy Oswalt, Cole Hamels, and finishing out the top five is Joe Blanton. The Phillies are projected to win the NL this year and are favorites to win the World Series on paper. I say the word on paper because, as we all know, a lot of things can happen, as they sure happened last year, as the Giants came out of nowhere to win the World Series. Moving on to other baseball news, Albert Pujols is still on schedule with his $300 million contract request. He has saved this date until Wednesday, when all the other players are scheduled to report. This is the deadline for his team, and they are still in negotiations on a contract. Pujols wants $30 million each year for 10 straight years. So that equals $300 million. Now, however, this deal may seem a little bit out there, and maybe no team is willing to give a player this type of money. But I think that Pujols and the Cardinals will be able to get a type of deal together where he'll be around in the $250 million range, let's say. This is going to be an interesting situation to keep an eye out, because if there is no deal, Pujols is scheduled to stop all contract negotiations and will not negotiate during the regular season and will file for free agency at the end of the season. So look out for this as the day approaches, because Wednesday is almost here. Moving on to the NFL now. The NFL has canceled their meeting tomorrow with the NFL Players Association. The two sides have been rather sporadic. None of their negotiations have gone right. They have, their differences are far apart. They can't agree on anything at all. And, this is going to be an interesting situation. The NFL has actually filed a suit against the NFL Players Association, saying that they are not going right about with these meetings. This is basically fighting words against these two sides. They're not agreeing on anything right now. And it's sad to say, but football, this upcoming fall does not look like it's going to happen. It's sad to say it, but that's the reality we are in. However, the NFL draft is still scheduled to happen no matter what happens with these negotiations. So there is going to be an NFL draft. We can look forward to that. However, there are going to be no trades or any type of deals that could possibly be done on the draft day. So it's going to kind of strain on teams as they're looking to get other players. They may not be able to do that once there's no agreement. They may not be able to do that at all. So now I want to talk about an amazing story that happened a couple weeks ago. A Philly teen, Nadine Corey, was brutally beaten by bullies, and his show made it to The View, and 3 Philadelphia Eagles, including Deshaun Jackson, Jamal Jackson, and Ty Hermans, made it out of their way to give him a surprise on this show. And this is a story that obviously touched me, because living in the Philly area, I know how these kids act once they get out of high school. I was once there, and I know that a lot of bullying stuff, type stuff happens. So we're gonna take a look at a clip from the show The View, and thank you for ABC. We're gonna take a look at this, and we're gonna get it up. And obviously, you know, Deshaun surprised the kid and actually gave him his signed jersey that he was wearing off of his back, and you know, it's all good, you know, for him. And he actually got free Eagles tickets for next season, a pair of 76ers tickets, and Deshaun also gave him his number. And I don't think, you know, I've never seen Deshaun do something like this, but I think it's great that players can step out of their boundaries, out of their regular life. Now, Deshaun was at the Pro Bowl when this started, and I think it's good that they can step out of that limelight and help, you know, kids out. And off of this, Deshaun has started the Deshaun Jackson Stop Bullying Foundation that he is going to help other kids in the Philadelphia area, in the region, who are, you know, victims of bullying. He's going to help those out. So that's good for Deshaun and good for the Eagles, because obviously, you know, we need more stories like this, seeing players help other people. Now, we don't have a video of this, but Michael Vick actually went back to Atlanta this past weekend and got a standing, rousing ovation from the Atlanta Falcons fans there. So that's good for Michael Vick. And he's also scheduled to be on Oprah coming up this past week. He's going to be on Oprah this week, and it should air next week. So look out for Michael Vick on Oprah. The topics include, he's going to talk about being in jail with the whole dogfighting thing, coming out of jail, and playing, starting this season with the Philadelphia Eagles. So those are the topics he's going to be talking to Oprah about. So please look out for that, and Michael Vick as he continues his success story. All right, moving on forward to Widener now. Widener basketball had a great weekend this past week, and B.J. Smith did it again this Saturday. Their season was on the line, obviously, and they needed a clutch shot as they took on the tough Alabama team. And B.J. Smith did it again. It's becoming a common theme for Widener. Smith as we all know, hit a three-pointer in a very dramatic comeback win a couple weeks ago that made to ESPN, and he did it against Elizabethtown. And you know, this is a victory that the team needed. They are now 11-12, and they are in contention to make the Commonwealth tournament. Now, this would be good for the Pride because they would be essentially getting to the playoffs, and if they went out these games in the tournament, that would help their chances to get an NCAA tournament bid. Now, obviously, they have 2 games left on their schedule. They're both home games, so they need to win these games badly to make the playoffs. The women's side, however, they are 17-6 and have already locked their place to win the division and get into the conference tournament. Now, they will take on Arcadia this Tuesday. The women's will play at 6, and they will be wearing pink for part of the K-Yao Cancer Fund for breast cancer awareness. That's a part of the WBCA Pink Zone. The women will be wearing pink jerseys, as I mentioned before. And please come out and support breast cancer. You know, this obviously is a big thing. Many people are affected by this, so please come out and support breast cancer. The women's game starts at 6, and the men's game starts at 8, and both teams will be taking on Arcadia. That will do it for today's edition of 2 Cents. I am Don Toole, also known as Coach Toole to some others. Have a great week, and I'll see you here next time.